Hey everyone, welcome to Custodial Monthly Training. In this video, we're going to talk about light bulb replacement and fluorescent light tube recycling. Let's jump right in. The first step of changing any light bulb is getting out your required PPE. Make sure you have a hard hat, cut-resistant gloves, and safety glasses. You're also going to need a fiberglass ladder. Never attempt to change a light bulb without first putting on your PPE. Trust me, it only takes a second. I told you. Alright, let's grab our ladder, get it positioned, and I'll show you how to change a light. Prior to changing any light bulb, you want to make sure you kill the power to that bulb. If you need light to see after you turn off the lights, your supervisor can order you a headlamp from OPP stores. Do your best to position your ladder directly under the light you want to change. You choose a ladder with a height that allows you to comfortably reach the lights without needing to climb too high up on the ladder. Make sure you maintain 3 points of contact with the ladder at all times between your hands and your feet. Climb to the step that allows you to comfortably reach the light. Twist the light tube 1/4 turn, remove it from the tombstones, and remove it from the fixture. Sometimes it helps to have a partner to hand your light bulbs down to so you don't drop them and break them. Before you replace the bulb, you want to make sure you identify the old bulb so you are putting the exact same type of bulb back into the lamp. There are a couple ways to do this. One, just by looking at it, the size. The most common light tubes on campus are T8s, which is what this one is. It is a skinnier bulb. There's also a T12, which is much bigger, much more round. The other way to do it is to actually just look at the lettering on the bulb itself. This one is a T8, and if you look, it says F32T8. So I do want to try to give you a super up close look at removing a fluorescent light tube. So you turn it 1/4 turn. Until the pins will slide out. Remove it. And these little areas that they come out of, that is the tombstone. I'm not sure if that is the scientific term for them. It is possibly the Latin, but again, just to show you going in, slides right into place, and 1/4 turn until it clicks into place. So one last thing I did want to try to show you on the bulb itself is this indentation right here. Hopefully you can see that. That is actually on both sides of the bulb, and that is actually in place to make sure that the bulb is in the light correctly. So when you slide that into place and you move 1/4 turn, that indentation will go away, or if the pins go in vertically and you turn it horizontal, it will expose that indentation. That is what that is there for. After replacing the bulb, you will want to test it and make sure that the light is working. If you replace the bulb and it still doesn't work, you will want to turn in a work order at that point. When you're on your ladder, it's important to remember never to lean off the side of your ladder further than your belt buckle. That is what we call the belt buckle rule. For example, if I'm leaning, I want to keep my belt buckle inside of the legs of the ladder. I never want to lean out any further than that. If you find yourself leaning out a little further, you need to reposition your ladder. Before using your ladder, you want to inspect it, make sure there's no damage to any of the rungs or the supports. You also want to make sure that it has a ladder inspection sticker and that it has recently been inspected. If not, please make sure you date and initial. Next, I wanted to touch on light bulb identification, specifically the difference between fluorescent and LED lights on campus. Fluorescent being lights that we change in custodial, LED being lights that require a work order when they need to be changed. So when it comes to identifying fluorescent light tubes, this is what you're going to look for. They typically have a green or silver end, depending on the brand. They're going to have the writing that we determined earlier with the F32T8, could possibly say T12, even T6, but nothing else on the light fixture is going to stand out. There's no warning labels, there's nothing like that that is going to indicate that it is dangerous at all. And these are the lights that we are responsible for changing in custodial. They aren't all the 4-foot tubes. We do have U-shaped tubes and other variations of them, but they all have similar end caps and labeling. So this next light is going to look very similar to a fluorescent T8. You're going to notice that the end caps are different. They are plastic and they are not green or silver. You are also going to see this label right here, and that says LED only, and it says UL Type 8 LED. This is an LED light that we do not change in custodial. You are going to have to submit a work order if one of these goes out. But other than that, it does look very similar to a regular T8 light. That is why we need to know the difference and be careful. If you ever do pull a lampshade down and you see this warning label, the LED only, you know not to change that light. Alright, and last but not least, we have the LED strip light. Much easier to see. Just has the LED strips all the way down. Again, we do not change LED lights. These need to have a work order submitted if they go out. These also cannot be recycled. You can only recycle fluorescent light tubes. You cannot recycle LEDs. Alright, so I know I'm showing you a lot of the fluorescent T8 tubes, but that is not the only kind of fluorescent bulb you're going to find on campus. I have a few of the other options that you might see, starting with the U-tube fluorescent light, very similar to the T8s and the T12s with the silver or green end caps. Same pin situation. These ones do not twist in any way. You just sort of work them up and kind of push them into place. They are extremely weak in the bend right here. These are very prone to breaking, so that is why having your cut resistant gloves is a must. Just be very careful with these. They're sometimes hard to work out of the fixture and to get back in, and like I said, they tend to break right at the bend. All right, the next type is these little pin fluorescent lights. Super strange looking, to be honest with you. Not your typical light. They either have 4 pins on the back, I don't know if you can see that, or just 1 pin on each side, so 2 or 4 pins. They just push straight into the light socket. Very easy to change. The other ones just pull straight out. These ones go right in. Just making sure that you have the correct number of pins is all you really have to worry about. And then last but not least, you have your typical screw-in light bulb. Nothing fancy about it at all. Screws right in, screws right out. So all of these lights we do change in custodial. It's really just the LEDs that I showed you in the other clip that we do not change. Also, while I'm on it, these U-tubes rather are able to be recycled, and the other types of fluorescents, these ones just go in the trash. We don't actually recycle these ones. When it comes to recycling your old fluorescent light tubes, you need a couple of things. First, you need a box that is going to fit your light tubes. You can get these from EH&S. Your supervisor can order them, or you can use an old box that your light tubes came in. It is important that you have a lid that can close. You have to be able to close off the box. The next thing you're going to need is clear packing tape to close up the bottom of your box. Don't use masking tape, painter's tape, electrical tape, even duct tape does not really work that well. It doesn't hold on the cardboard. Make sure you get packing tape from your supervisor if you don't have it, and only use this to close up the box. The last thing you're going to need is a label for your box that you're putting your bad bulbs into, and the first line you put the building, and on the second line it says start date, and the reason for that is it is the date that you put the first bad bulb into the box. You can only keep a bad fluorescent tube in your building without being recycled for 1 calendar year. So that is why you put the start date that you started recycling bulbs in the box. All right, once your box is set up, you have it thoroughly taped up on the bottom. You have your label filled out correctly with the building and the start date. You can start to put your old tubes into the box. You want to make sure that they are not sticking out of the top so they can't get broken, and this is critical. You cannot recycle a broken fluorescent tube. If a bulb is broken in this box, it needs to go into the trash. It cannot be recycled. And that goes for even after they have been stored. So if you have them in a closet and you're kicking them around and slamming your auto scrubber into them while they're in the back of the JA and the bulbs break, it can no longer be recycled. And that also goes for transportation whenever you're dropping your box off at the pickup location for them to be picked up when they're getting recycled. If a bulb breaks in the box, then you cannot recycle it. So don't overfill the box with bulbs. If you're starting to get a little full and they're not going in right and you're really trying to force them into place and they break, you cannot recycle that box of bulbs. It is critical that you remember that. Do not send broken bulbs in for recycling. You will get a work order quarterly. Your supervisor should be letting you know when those come in to get these bulbs recycled. Typically, you're going to have a drop-off location somewhere on the work order. You will take all of your bad bulb boxes with the boxes correctly closed up and taped with packing tape. No bulbs sticking out of the top. Drop it off at the location, charge the work order for the time that you spent delivering the box, and then you never have to worry about it again.
Let's quickly recap everything that was covered so far. Wear your PPE every time. That includes a hard hat, cut-resistant gloves, safety glasses, and a fiberglass ladder. Inspect your ladder before each use. Make sure there is a ladder inspection sticker and an official inspection documented on the ladder once a year. Turn off the bulb you are changing. You can get a headlamp from OPP stores if you need one. Identify the bulb that you are changing and only replace it with the same type of bulb that you removed. When recycling your lights, the box needs to be properly secured with packing tape and no bulbs can be sticking out of the top. A lid must be secured before they are dropped off for recycling, and you cannot, I repeat, you cannot recycle broken fluorescent light bulbs.
All right, so that's all that I have for you. I just wanted to say thank you so much for everything that you do. It is sincerely appreciated. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next month.